Right. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day, depending on where you're listening in from. My name is F1 Pansa, and I'm going to be your host today with Dr. Stephen Ahenkorah, who is our guest today. So, funny story, he's been with us or changing the narrative since it started, and he's always been a background vocalist. So today I'm happy to have him as a guest or to be in the hot seat to actually listen to his story firsthand as well, and also to learn about Belgium, Finland, because he's studied there and currently in the US. So we want to know how he moved through these countries to end up in the US. And hopefully, and I know we'll be able to learn a lot. If you're looking to study abroad, this is for you so that you can learn and pick up, certain advice, and also as you're planning or whatever that you've planned, these advice, you can use it to either amend or go firm with your decision. I believe every time that we've had people on, we've learned a lot. Me personally, and I use it as an advice for a lot of the people, the youngsters out there that are looking to study abroad. If today is your first day, this is changing the narrative. We do this once or twice a month, depending on how lucky we are with guest invitations and acceptance. We're on YouTube. Please do subscribe to our YouTube and watch the other episodes there. It's doing well. The people that have looked at a lot of our previous meetings or events and have still learned a lot out of it or gotten a lot out of it. I personally use my page to promote or share opportunities, PhD, masters, not so much bachelors, but yeah, PhD and bachelor and masters. I run a foundation called the AAA Foundation. If you're looking for somewhere to volunteer or make an impact, please do reach out to us. Also, like and share our pages and a lot of the projects that we embark on. AAA Foundation. Um, we're registered in Ghana, and God being so good, we've not made the official announcement, but we've been registered in the UK. So now we are a registered organization or foundation in the UK as well, as of last month. So we're putting plans in place to have the UK team set up. So yeah, fun and exciting and headache ahead of time, because even though it's a good thing, I know as you expand, there's a lot of responsibilities that comes with it. But we are here to glorify the name of God through the impact that we make. So we're excited for what's ahead. Right. So without wasting much more time, let me introduce you to our guest for this evening. As mentioned, Stephen Ahenkorah. He is a chemist, a production chemist, a researcher, and he actually has or runs a real estate. There we go. I was gonna say you're an architect, but you're not. You run, you have a real estate business. So yeah, I'll let him introduce himself properly because I've literally just messed it up. But I know he's a researcher, he's a scientist, he runs a real estate business as well. So without wasting much more time, Dr. Ahenkora or Dr. Stephen, whichever, or Bra Stephen, is a pleasure to have you um, as a guest. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you can introduce yourself to our listeners, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Yeah, wherever you're watching me from. Like she said, my name is Stephen Ahenkorah. Um, I'm a Ghanaian. I come from Kwau. The Ahenkorah name is mostly from the Achems, but our ancestors migrated from Achem to Kwau, so that's why we also have the Kwaus, the Ahenkorah and the Kwau. Yeah, but it's mostly from the Achem. Achim, we have the Ahenkorah. Yeah, so I came from a very, very humble home, humble beginnings. I grew up in a typical village. Kwauwana is on the, those from Ghana, is on the Nkoko Kumasi stretch. Yeah, it's in between these two towns. That's where I grew up. It was a very small town. And yeah, I grew up with my grandmom. And my basic education, everything, my junior high, everything, I did it in Kwauda. Then I had the opportunity to come to Nkoko Senior High. That's why I did my, our time it was SSS, but now it's SHS. Yeah. And from Nkoko, I got admission to do chemistry, University of Cape Coast. So I did chemistry, BSc, Cape Coast. And I did my service, national service in Tamale. So yeah, from Cape Coast, I went to Tamale to do my national service. And right after my national service, I had opportunity to work for 1 year with the. That was, even though I was a chemist, I did my service with, those days was Airtel. So I did my service with Airtel. Yeah. So, and they wanted to keep me, but I was really interested to pursue the chemistry more. So I was just trying to get the opportunity to leave the country, because one thing I have realized is in Ghana, when you want to confine yourself to only the four walls of Ghana, is always, not always, but sometimes difficult, especially if you are doing the physical sciences and the biological sciences like chemistry, physics, biology. If you do those courses, finding job after your program is quite, it's not easy. I have to be real with you. It's not easy. So sorry guys. What? You need what? Wait for me. Wait for me. Go and take that for me. Go take that for me. Sorry guys. Sorry. Yeah. So I was looking for scholarship because I didn't have the money, the funds to really fund my education. So it was all about scholarship. So my aim was scholarship. So right after my bachelor degree, I was on a scholarship journey, and it's not easy. That's what I want to say. Looking for scholarship outside is always not. And I limited myself to only Europe. Yeah, I wasn't that trying everywhere. I was really interested in Europe, and so it was quite competitive. And yeah, so fortunately, I was able to hit one. I applied for so many schools in Europe, many schools, France, Germany, Denmark. Like I was just looking for schools all over the place, and finally, I got one hit. That was the University of Eastern Finland. And our time when you get admission in Finland, it was an automatic scholarship. So if the school admits you, you get a scholarship. So the scholarship was coming with stipend. So the universities were taking care of your tuition, and also they were giving us something. I mean, every month it was 500 euros. Yeah, that was 2012. So I was fortunate to get a scholarship, and yeah, you can imagine studying and getting paid at the same time. It was quite fun, but unfortunately, when we completed, there was change in administration in Finland. There was change in administration. So when a new administration came, they cancelled the scholarship. So now it was, they moved it from scholarship with stipend to fee waiver. So now when you get an admission, they can waive 50 to 70%. So assuming it's $10,000 or 10,000 euros, they can take care of 7,000 and ask you to pay 3,000. But with that, there was no stipend. So you have to take care of the fees and also accommodation and feeding. So it made it a bit tough for, I mean, some of the Ghanaians. I think mostly everybody, because now you are going to pay even at 3,000. Can you imagine if you have been asked to come and pay 3,000 after your bachelor's degree to do education, pay your accommodation, pay your feeding? It was really, really tough. So some of us, we were very lucky to get the scholarship. So after my master's, I did master's in chemistry as well. That was more like medicinal chemistry, from the year 2012 to 2014. And one thing I also want to highlight here is whenever you're doing your bachelor degree, your master's, um, it is two ways. Your lab can give you PhD, like roll you on for PhD right after your master's, or you just graduated your master's and you go out looking for PhD. And that is the most difficult. I want to be real. It's very difficult when you are leaving the lab with your just CV and your diploma certificate to go and look for PhD elsewhere. Is really tough. Some people they give up on the way because, especially when you're looking for PhD in Europe, they consider PhD as a job. So they are employing you like you come to work. So it's very competitive because you have other European countries or students from other European countries who are also looking for PhD like you're doing. And when you look at the pecking order, they have Europe, Asia, Africa, you are somewhere on the bottom. It's really, really tough. And yeah, you can, but what I would say is you don't have to give up. Because it took me 4 years to get PhD after my master's. I never give up. I completed in 2014. I got my PhD in 2018. So you can imagine it was very tough. And one thing you have to know is it's always about the CV. So initially I was thinking these people were being biased. Why are they not hiring me and all that? But when I stepped up to improve my CV within the 4 years, I wasn't just applying, I was also doing research. So I got opportunity to travel to Singapore. I got a job in Singapore as a researcher, like assistant researcher. So when I did this research and I got one publication as well, so I put them on my CV. So around 2017, when I started the PhD applications again, I was surprised to see offers from Denmark, from Switzerland, and Belgium. I said, wow. So sometimes is you might think somebody is like they're playing hard on you, but from my experience, I think it's mostly the CV. Your CV has to be strong, especially if you are looking for PhD with masters. If you present a CV with masters, nothing. You just write your CV, BSc chemistry, MSc chemistry. Then there's nothing on the CV again. I mean, no professor will want to put you in his lab. So it's very, very difficult. But I would say, from my experience, when you finish your masters and you are unfortunate to get PhD from the same lab, please try and build your CV. Work on the CV to make it attractive, make it attractive to the professors. And normally, when I was doing my masters, I was thinking, okay, I need to get good grades to get a PhD, but it's not like that. I think they are more interested because PhD is research, so they are more interested in your research, not your grades. I think one of few countries like Denmark, Denmark is interested in both the grades and the research, but the other countries they are more interested in the research. So even if you score, Finland is the total is 5. So if you have 2.5, 3/5, and you have a very good research experience on your CV, somebody having 5/5, they will still admit you the 3/5 with a good research background than somebody having 5/5. So research. Don't when you complete your masters and you don't get PhD in the same lab, please build a CV. Sometimes you can even ask if the university is not giving you the PhD and they can let you hang around. But sometimes they have some projects running, but it's not really the PhD position. So you are using that to buy time. You can do those research, try and get 1 or 2 publications on the CV, and it will take you far. Like it will make your CV very competitive. So I went to Singapore, did some research, then I started applying for the PhD again, and fortunately, I got PhD in Belgium. So it was a fully funded PhD with stipend. And trust me, if you get a PhD in
Sorry, one sec. It looks like you've been globetrotting. So recap from so Ghana, you managed to get your master's in
Finland,
Belgium, no
Finland,
Finland.
right,
Okay, and then while you were in Finland and you finished, you managed to go to Singapore for
right,
research purposes.
yes.
So it was a job.
This was a job, yeah, National University of
Okay,
Singapore, right.
did it come through the school in Finland or you had to get that yourself?
Yes, so I did that myself. I did
Okay.
the research. So initially, the plan was to go to Singapore for PhD, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, when I got there, in Singapore, they call it accelerated PhD. So I think some of you, as you know, that accelerated PhD is right after your bachelor's, you can get PhD program, but that
Mm-hmm.
one you have to do coursework for like 2 years. Then they roll you to the PhD program. So that
Mm-hmm.
was my plan to go to. That's why I went to Singapore. That's National University of Singapore, but it didn't happen. The PhD didn't happen. So but I was able to. My research was very interesting. I was working on anti-malaria drugs with
Okay.
one professor, and we were able to develop some interesting compounds that were very potent against malaria. So we published it in ACS, and yeah, so I put it on my CV, and now with experience, and I was also a tutor. I was teaching this pharmaceutical analysis at the university, National University of Singapore. I was teaching pharmaceutical analysis to the undergrads. It's kind of lab demonstration and all that. So adding all this to my CV, it made it very strong.
Mm.
Yeah, it made it really, really strong for me to get a PhD program.
So if you're listening, um, aside your grades, it's good, especially if you're looking for research sort of courses for either PhD or masters, then you should try and get yourself involved, even if it's for free. It's not everything that you have to do it to earn money. Sometimes play the long game. And a lot of the times when you're playing the long game, money will come later on. So if it means volunteering at your professors or your lecturers' lab or projects for free just to get that on your CV, please do it, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's an investment in yourself, and most of the investment is not always it's not always about money. It's your time.
Right.
It's at the end of the day, if you put in that work or make that sacrifices to be able to get what you need to get. Because if you're going to do a research and you don't have a research background or enough experience into it, it will only make it difficult for you. So the earlier the better. And a lot of the time too, I know if your SOP, if let's say on the scholarship board, you've ticked all the boxes and you're in a tight spot with somebody and there's only one place, your CV could be your saving grace.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, don't leave any stone unturned. And like I'm saying, every time we have a guest, their experience is different. So we tend to learn a lot or different stuff from everybody's journey. So yeah, today we're talking about CVs. We're not hammering on SOPs and that. I've heard you mention CV quite a lot.
Yeah.
So academic CV is very important. And it's not just how you lay the CV out, it's the content, the
Okay.
quality of the CV. So yeah, again, if you've just joined us, I'm here with Dr. Ahenkorah, talking about his journey through Finland. We've not spoken about Belgium yet. So Ghana to Finland to Singapore, um, and then we will continue the journey from there. So if you've just joined us, welcome, and please let us know where you're joining from, and do put your questions or anything that you want to add to it in the comment section, and then we'll be able to answer your questions or read it out just to make it more lively. We're on YouTube as well, so for people that are not on LinkedIn, please do share the YouTube link as well so that people can join us from YouTube. I can see people are on YouTube already. We've even got one comment from Isaac saying finding job in Ghana generally is hard. I think it was from your earlier submission of trying to find a job in Ghana. I think finding a job in general is hard. Yeah, I mean, after my undergrad in the UK, it took me 5 years to get a decent job. So yeah, it's hard everywhere. Some people tend to get it earlier, others you just have to keep trying. So yeah, so now you're in Singapore, which looks like it was part of the plan anyway,
Yeah,
and that is where you were looking for a PhD in Singapore, but
yeah.
okay.
You know it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So from Singapore, I managed to secure, like I said, a PhD in Belgium, and for the PhD, something that I would like to highlight is the search. I mean, you don't look for. I know people will just apply one or two, and they'll say we didn't get it, then that's it. They just give up, and they start doing something else. But for me, if you are fortunate to do your bachelor's, you are fortunate to do your master's, please push a little to do your PhD, because I'm not saying PhD is going to make you wealthy or it's going to make you the richest person, but you will come and thank me later, because it's like a passport. When you have PhD, it's like a passport. Is that traveling becomes so easy with PhD if you have PhD, a
I
very good
have a
PhD.
question on that. So is it PhD for researchers or scientists like yourself, or PhD in its entirety?
Yeah. So where I sit, I'm talking about researchers. If you do PhD in research, because every country, I mean, globally, every country is looking for a researcher. Researchers, we are like black diamond, you know. Every country is looking, every country is looking for a researcher, but it's until you get PhD that's where you open that box, you open that opportunity, that window, that you see that so people were looking for me in the way. But when you have only the bachelors and the masters, sometimes, especially with the physical and the biological sciences, hitting up to the masters is, I'm not saying like, is, but if you can push a little to do your PhD, that would be the best. That's why I want to highlight that. That would be the best. And one thing too is when you're doing your master's, sometimes you can force your supervisor, you can push your supervisor into a very tight corner that even if they don't have grant, they'll still do something for you. They will, they can let you wait. Some professors can tell you to wait for like 6 months, a year, because of what you did. And they call it the rhyme, the resource. You have to be resourceful, you have to be responsible, then mindful and humble. So when you have this with you, these characters with you, the professors, because assuming holiday and the professor comes to the lab and you are in the lab during a holiday, public holiday, they come and see you in the lab. They'll say, wow, are you that hardworking? So, and these professors, they are very busy. So if they get someone with this adventurous kind of mentality and smart, hardworking, they try to keep you. Sometimes they go all the way to even push their own funds to really pay you, because they're very hardworking. So when you're doing your masters and you can really work harder to push your professor to the corner, you can also do it. Because from my experience, like I said earlier, when you're leaving from your university to look for a PhD in a different university, it's it's tough. That one I'm going to keep it real. It's not easy. It's very tough. Yeah.
Wow. So, wow, hard working does pay at the end of the day. Nobody wants a lazy person to work with. And yeah, you'd have to prove yourself to your professor.
Yeah.
So, Um, why didn't you do your PhD in Singapore?
Yeah. So it's it's more like I'll say politics. So it was more like politics. Normally I don't really talk much about it, but it was more like politics at the department. So the funding, there were confusion between the professors, and I think my professor was on the low side, so they just push it to a different candidate. Like the one strong professor was able to push to a
I've
candidate.
heard it before, and it
Yeah,
happens in Europe as well, where if your professor is one not well known,
yeah,
it's not what's the word? It's not in terms of not leadership, in terms of how long they've been a professor for.
yeah,
Well, it is leadership, isn't it?
yeah,
And then yeah, some professors are more on the quiet side than others. So
yeah,
it all depends on who your professor is. I've heard you're not the first to say it. I've
yeah,
heard this before. So at the end of the day, you sort of need a right professor to fight your corner, and not
yeah,
just fighting your corner, but
yeah,
somebody whose lab is well known, or whose role is well known, that they will easily win the grant
yeah,
or the scholarship for them to be able to use it or appoint the right student for it. So fair enough. Yeah, I've heard it before. It's
yeah.
not yeah. So if you're listening to us, and again this is your first time, we talk about this a whole lot. Like you've mentioned it over and over again that it's not easy. um and a lot of the time I've seen people give up after like 3 or 4 tries and they get the rejection. And I always say, I don't think you want it. It's like
Mhm.
when you're looking for a job, right? And like you said, PhD, um, you even let's go to masters. Even with masters, somebody is giving you money. Oh. This is money for a whole year. They're giving you stipend. They're buying or paying for your flights. It's a lot that they're giving to you.
Yeah,
They can't make that decision out of emotions. You
yeah,
understand?
right.
So yeah, yeah, again, like as we're saying, there's a lot apart from the favor of God. There's a lot that you as the individual has to be ready for, and you have to be well positioned to be able to get this. And when you look at it, let's just say now Chevening is open. If you're not considering it, consider it, because it's the UK one. And I'm always rooting for UK because I'm used to the system. And I think no, it's not. I know we have very good educational system. If you don't agree with it, you can argue with your keypad. But we have a good education system. UK as a country is not bad. We're very welcoming. Well, depending on the city that you go to, but I believe we're very welcoming compared to others. So let me come back to my main point. I think I'm deviating now. But yeah, if you're looking at applying for scholarships, right? It's not just a Ghana scholarship. It's not just you're competing with people from Europe. How many countries are in Europe? Even how many countries are in Africa? And then those that are in the US, those that are in Asia, Antarctica, you name it. Everybody sees these opportunities and they are applying for it, right? So you are in a race post. Like some of these scholarships, they receive over thousands of applications. So if you're always going to give up, the chance that if somebody has been able to make it out of the thousand, you don't know how long they've applied for it. You don't know what they're doing. So unless you keep trying, you keep improving yourself, you keep adapting, you keep praying, you never know when your time is due and you're going to miss it. So if you really want it, it's like again, it's like applying for a job. You understand? If you really want a job, one rejection, two rejections, three rejections, or even 10 rejections is not enough to want you to give up on looking for a job. You understand? So um it's not an easy ride, it's not an easy journey, but at the end of the day, those that make it are those that don't give up, right? I
Yeah.
don't know how many times you had to apply. that you got it. But I mean, from Ghana through to Finland, and you said there were a lot of countries that you were just applying because you're just looking for that opportunity to further your education. So you were just applying.
Just applying everywhere.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, that shows determination and resilience. Now you're in Finland through to Singapore to get to Belgium. That is the receipts of somebody who was interested or very invested in their schooling. So please, if you're listening to us and you feel like giving up, let this be your sign not to give up. Today we're talking to Dr. Ahenkorah, who has been able to get these scholarships and is here sharing his journey to to encourage you. So please be the next person that does not give up, and you be the one to use your experience to encourage others. If you don't take anything from this conversation, please do take this. Don't give up. Go and apply for, this is the next round of scholarship applications anyway, because we're halfway through the year. And we're looking for next year's intake, so September next year, God willing. So use this year to not give up and start the applications again, okay? Well done. Don't give up. So, so now you're going to Belgium, right? Um, let's come back to Finland. Would you recommend Finland as it is now? I know it's the happiest country on earth. They
yeah,
keep getting that title quite a lot. I haven't personally been to Finland.
yeah.
But can you tell us a bit about one, the educational system living in Finland? Would you encourage somebody now to consider? Because I know they're very innovative, but would you? And then we come back to Belgium. Singapore, we will touch on it, but it's between Finland and Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, currently, when it comes to masters, Finland doesn't really have a scholarship, like scholarship for master students. What they have is the fee waiver, like I mentioned earlier. So now the scholarship they have is for PhD students. That one, the government has competitive scholarships for PhD students, but for masters is the individual universities that will, I mean, come on, cover some part of your fees, and they will let you pay maybe 30%, sometimes 50%. And but there are some universities in Finland, like University of Helsinki. You know, some university they have money. So University of Helsinki, for instance, they have money. So if you are able to secure admission and you prove yourself in the first year, then there's a likelihood that they can give you scholarship, full scholarship. I don't know about the stipend, but they can give you full scholarship where you're not going to pay any tuition fee. But you need to prove yourself. So yeah, that's but Finland has so many universities, but some are richer than others. So you can do your research, and but normally I look at University of Helsinki, like yeah, they have the money. So when it comes to living in Finland, like you mentioned, Finland is one of the best place you can ever live on this earth, and it is the happiest country. They are very happy because the system absorbs everything. So as a citizen in Finland, you don't need to think about anything. You don't need to think about anything. Excuse me, but they club a lot. I mean, every night is they club. Every night they go to the club. I mean, some time ago you saw the prime minister in the club tweeting on Twitter, and people were there was a backlash. Yeah, because they are very happy. They pay for almost everything. The healthcare is like zero. You don't pay anything to healthcare. If you're not working, the government can cover all your rent for you and even give you something to take care of yourself. Like I think 800. When I was there, it was around 800 euros every month if you're not working. Yeah, to cover your expenses. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. To cover your expenses and all that. So that makes Finland one of them. So it's not even only Finland, it's a Nordic region. So Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and maybe Iceland. this country is the best place to live. And when it comes to education, they have this supportive environment. In Europe, you can call professors by their first name, or we do call professors by their first name. So if I'm Stephen, your professor, whether he's a vice chancellor or is Stephen, we don't call him professor or something. So it takes out unnecessary tension between you and they. You see him like your colleague in some sense, and but one thing they do is you expect less spoon feeding when it comes to studies and research. So the problem we normally face, like as a Ghanaian, is that when you finish your bachelor's, let's say you finish your bachelor's in chemistry or biology or physics, you've never seen HPLC before. You can finish your bachelor's and you've never seen HPLC. You've never seen spectrophotometry before. But when you go to Finland and you're admitted to the master's degree, they put you in a lab equipped with these facilities. You have your HPLC, you have your flow cytometry, you have everything in the lab. And here comes you've never seen it before. So my advice is sometimes if you have the opportunity to access these instruments in Ghana or wherever you are, you can, or you can learn about it from YouTube. Because when I go to Finland, honestly, I've never touched HPLC. I've never touched HPLC before, and it was in the lab. And they give you an experiment that the values they have reference values. So when you perform the experiment, you need to get those values before you can move to the next. And sometimes it can take you months trying to get those values, and no professor will come and teach you. No, they'll just leave you to troubleshoot everything yourself. So academically, the research is quite intense. In Finland, it's very research intense country, but living there is also the best. And as a student, what I know is in Finland, you can work as many hours you want as a student. I think it's like 30 hours per week. 30 hours per week. I think it's roughly 1,560 hours a year as a student in Finland, which is quite a lot. So for that one, they don't care.
That is a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a,
Yeah.
it's quite a lot. So they don't care about you working. But the problem is you have to know that Finland is it's not the land size is big, but the population is very tiny. I think 5 million, 6 million population. So the job prospects, that one I have to be real, it's not easy. So when I was there, I was
That was
doing
going to be my next question. That since you can work so many hours, like, is the job available for students to actually do?
yeah. So the job in Finland is more like paper delivery.
That was what I used to do in high school.
Yeah, we call it minuskia. So you deliver paper from house to house. In the evening, you go and arrange the papers like based on the arts. Then you just go and distribute to the rooms, the houses. And at the end of the month, you get like sometimes you get like 70 euros. You get that 70 euros, and you're very happy because you can take care of your groceries. 70 euros in Finland can take care of it. If you're single, you can take care of your groceries. But sometimes you can get, some people say dirty work, but we don't mind. You can get some cleaning job. They have a lot of clubs, night clubs. So they can assign you to a night club to clean weekends, or maybe some restaurant to clean. And cleaning in Finland, it pays. it pays quite well. Oh yeah, it pays quite well. I mean, you can take care of, if you get admission in Finland, you can get some side hustles to take care of your feeding. That one I must tell you, you can get some side hustles to take care of your feeding. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't personally been to Finland, but I have heard a lot about it, especially when it comes to voting for the happiest place. I think it's topped it for a number of years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Finland, Sweden, Norway, all those
Nordic,
Scandinavian
Nordic,
countries,
yes,
Nordic,
Scandinavia, yeah.
yeah. They I don't know what it is with them, but maybe I need to expand my horizon and go and experience it myself. Why they're so happy? So is it because there's just nightclubs? So their
a lot of
happiness is in the
a lot
club.
of nightclubs. Finland is nightclubs. They have
I
nothing
see.
because it's very cold
Wow.
and dark.
It
The
that's
country
the
is very
thing. I
cold
was
and
gonna say those places are quite cold.
it's cold and very dark.
Mm,
Sometimes a whole day you don't see the lights. You don't see the lights.
wow.
Yeah, it can be it can be the 24 hour cycle. You don't see the
Well,
lights.
it's something to think about as well. If you don't like the cold, maybe those places are not for you. Oh, you're laughing. Some people they get a shock of their life when they come to Scotland. So now, if you want to go up there, you need to consider the cold. If you're not somebody who can, but maybe because of education, you'll be able to hack it. But hey, it's something to consider. Um, Mujansi, Molly, sorry if I've butchered your day. Very interesting insight. Thanks for joining. I think Zambia is more welcoming. Well, I guess you're from Zambia, then everybody would say the country is more welcoming. But again, I think Ghana is more welcoming. But that's another another conversation for another time. If not, yeah. But yeah, thanks for joining. Right. So yeah, Finland with schools. I know it's more PhD oriented
Yeah,
at the moment. Same as Belgium. Um, I think most of these countries that offer scholarships are moving towards research
yeah,
funding
yeah.
than masters.
Masters, yeah.
Yeah. And if not, you will get them put it together. So they will be funding your PhD, but you gain masters out of it.
Yeah. Coursework, yeah. You get some
Yeah, yeah. So it's moving around that more than just your masters. But then again, like you said, if you're able, if you're looking to, it's not just about academia. I always say that always wanted to do PhD for shaggy reasons. I've actually not had the right reason. Just Dr. Amponsa sounds good in my ears, but just shaggy reasons. And but again, if I think 4, 5, 6 years, if you want to do part time, yeah, you're looking at 4 years of your life. Is it something you really want to do? Don't be like me for shaggy reasons. That's why I've not considered it yet. I need something that I would want to really give my 4, 5, 6 years to. So please, but then again, if it is something that is on your long term goals, please do consider it. I do have a lot of PhD people around me, and when they speak, the way they articulate themselves, the knowledge that they have, it's nice to have around. So I would say if you're considering it, find yourself in that cycle. Find you PhD people around you. If you don't have them, try and have them. Just so they can give you the right ideas, the right advice, um, so you can make the right choice, and the right decision before you embark on it. Because I know it's rewarding, but in that reward comes a lot of sacrifices, a lot of stress, a lot of yes, a lot of things. So, yeah, just make sure you have the right mentors that have been through it around you so that they can encourage you and give you the right advice as you embark on it or even deciding to do it and see if it's for you. So yeah. So now we're in Belgium. Actually, Singapore, how was Singapore? Would you also encourage someone to look for? I know you've talked about the politics, but I've heard it in Europe. I've heard it in the US. I think it's something that is within the PhD research, environment. So would you have considered without the politics, would you have considered to actually live in Singapore? And would you encourage anybody to consider it now?
Oh yeah. Yes, I will do that because when you talk about technology, yeah, Singapore is a high tech. It's a high tech country. I think it's one of the cleanest country. I mean, in the world. especially in Asia, is very clean. And the weather too is like Ghana or Africa. There's no cold weather. It's like the whole 365 days you see the sun and it rains a lot because Singapore is an island, it's just the coast of Malaysia. So
That's
it
a
is,
big difference from not seeing any sun in Finland
yeah,
to seeing a lot of it in
yeah,
Singapore.
in
Well, there
Singapore.
you go. You got another place to consider then.
Yes,
Yeah, that's good.
yes, and they have the best universities in Asia. I think even number one, number two, the National University of Singapore, I think is number one. It has been number one for quite some time now in Asia. And even the world ranking is always within first 10, maybe first 12, first 10 is always there. The National University of Singapore is a very good university. And when you have it on your CV, it's also really good. And Singapore is, the thing is a very competitive environment. So, because the universities are ranked that high, whatever they want from you should be top notch. When it comes to research, when it comes to coursework, they want you to be up there because they don't want to lose those spots. That's why they don't want to lose a spot. So if you are very competitive, you are hardworking, and for Singapore, it's not like Europe. Europe education is more relaxed. Europe is more relaxed because Finland, for instance, the security man will come and close the door around 4 p.m. Everybody leaves the lab 4 p.m. But Singapore, even holidays, your professor is calling you. Have you checked the cells? Are the cells working? Sundays, can you check the cells and let me know how they are faring? Sundays, she will even call you to go to the lab and go and check the cells. And your professor, Singapore, by 6 a.m., your professor is already in the lab. She's there and she leaves. I know some professors who leave like 12 a.m. They
I
leave
think
like
that's a very typical Asian
culture.
work ethic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're like that. Yeah.
It's very tedious. So if you can't go through that stress, because Singapore too, they take bachelors. So if you have a bachelor degree and you have good grades, yeah, Singapore, National University of Singapore, Nanyang Technical University, NTU, if you have good grades, they can give you the accelerated PhD. They call it SINGA, Singapore International Scholarship, Scholars or something. Singapore has so many scholarships. But I think it's very competitive because now even the Europeans are applying. The Europeans are applying to Singapore. I met Americans doing PhD in Singapore, so it's very competitive. But if you have good grades and you don't even have good research background, because we're going to do coursework for like a year or two before they enroll you into the PhD program. So if you're interested and you're hardworking, you don't mind working till 11 p.m., waking up like 5 a.m. Singapore is the best place for you to go. And they have the food is quality food, and it's cheap. They call it food market. It's like even though it's an expensive country, but when it comes to food, it's when you go to the street is quite it's cheap. So yeah, that is the experience from Singapore.
Wow, that's good to know. So here you go. You got Finland, you've got Singapore. So whichever one that, speaks to your future goals. And I always tell people, just because say Singapore has got the best options or opportunities compared to Finland, but Finland has the best universities in the program that you want to offer, consider that as well. Because sometimes you have to do some trade-offs, you understand? Again, just do your research and see which one fits your goals at the end of the day. But be open to the opportunities that there are, because there's loads of opportunities. So yeah. So now let's go to Belgium.
Yeah, yeah. So from Singapore, I applied. I got the PhD program. In fact, I got three PhDs. I got Switzerland, Denmark, and Belgium. And all these countries, I mean,
Let's
when
see.
it comes
So
to
why did you settle for Belgium? There has to be a reason why Switzerland and
Denmark,
Denmark
yeah.
didn't quite catch your fancy. So what was the difference in
Yeah, so
Belgium that made you want to choose Belgium?
Belgium was on radio pharmacy, and by then, radio pharmacy, as you speak, is the hottest area you can get when it comes to cancer research, and they have the funding now. Every university running radio pharmacy has funding, so I I just landed on, like, I just decided to go with the radio pharmacy, because the Denmark was more on chemistry, organic synthesis, and the Switzerland was more on nanotechnology. It was nanotech, yeah. And I didn't want to take chances on nanotechnology because I didn't have that experience, so I decided to stick with the radio pharmacy in Belgium. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough. Again, it comes back to what we usually say that if you know exactly what you're looking for, then you're not there just, like you're saying, taking chances. You knew what you wanted to study. So even if the scholarship, it was 10 of them and it wasn't speaking into what you wanted to achieve, then you weren't going to go for it. So always know your why before you start applying as well, because it will guide you on your decision making as you do your research and embark on this journey. So that's great. So Belgium, let's know how Belgium is, and as you tell us your experience as well, would you recommend Belgium just like we did with Finland and not Norway, Singapore?
yeah, yeah. So one thing I would say is when you start your masters, the day you start your masters, that same day you start looking for PhD because it's a long journey. Like I mentioned, I completed in 2014. I got PhD in 2018. So it's a long journey if you want to start. And I want to mention that the university that I got in Belgium, that same professor, I reached out to him earlier when I was doing my master. So he knew me already. So when I sent my CV again, he said, like, I know this guy, but now your CV is better. Your CV has improved. That's what he told me. So when I was doing my master's, I was very stubborn. And you have to be aggressive because I reached out to one Indian guy and he was doing his PhD in Finland. And he told me that every day aim for 4 professors. I'm going to contact 4 professors every day. Every day, look for 4 professors every day. So I also started. So I was reaching out to professors. And one thing is, the institution that funded my PhD in Belgium, it was throughout this emails, researching that I got even to know of this institution. So the institution that funded my research in Belgium is the Belgium National Nuclear Research. So they are more cancer-driven institute that look into ways to treat cancer, yeah, cancer patients across Europe. And I think for now, that area, we have Belgium, Netherlands, and Germany. They are on top. And I think maybe France. So you have to contact as many professors as you can during your masters. Contact as many cold emails for PhD, cold emails. When you rely only on available positions, it's very competitive because everyone has seen it. When they post those ads, everyone has seen it. And every lab has a master student. That one, every lab has a master student. So whenever there's a PhD, sometimes they can post it, but they've given it to the master student already. But they just post it for the metrics, for the numbers. But they've given it to a master student. Every lab has a master student. So you need to be very, if you're fortunate to be in the master's program and you are interested in doing PhD, you need to send emails. You need to send emails. You just need one PhD. It's not, you're not looking for. You just need one. But that hits, you need to do random, you have to be all over the place. to Yeah, so that's what I did. So it's not like, even though those professors that I got after my improving my CV, I knew most of them already. the institute in Belgium, the Belgium Nuclear Research, I knew this institute already because I've been contacting professors way back before even coming back to them again. So that is one thing I'll tell everybody doing his masters, that please disturb the professors. Just disturb them. Some will reply, some will not reply. I mean, just disturb them, because the PhD positions, some professors, they don't post, like they don't publish that I'm looking for. But he has a fund looking for a student. Yeah, so that's how I got there. So I got the funding from the agency, the institution, then they will affiliate you to a university. So they are funding the PhD program, and that institute every year they give not less than 25 PhD positions every year. They take not less than 25 PhD positions, and it's mainly um, nuclear sciences, biology, like the physical sciences, biology, physics, chemistry. Yeah. So yeah, if you are interested, you can just look at the Belgium Nuclear Research Institute. Yeah, they have money to fund PhD students. So I got a PhD there, and they affiliated me to KU Leuven, Catholic University of Leuven. That's where I did the, because they cannot award the PhD certificate. Yeah, so they need to go through a university. So I got affiliated to KU Leuven. And one thing I'll say is PhD in Europe, honestly, is the best because the pay is very good. That one, I will not lie to you, is the PhD salary in Europe is, especially Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Belgium, Netherlands, they pay
Would
very
you
well.
say is better than the US
Oh
and
yes,
Canada?
far, 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 far. It's
I
times
wish I wish there was a US person here to that
times
would
two
be
times.
an it would be an interesting conversation.
No, when it comes to the money, times two times three, the US is so much. It's not 2,000. Denmark can give you like 3,500, even close to 4,000 for your PhD. So yeah, PhD. That's why it's very competitive in Europe to get a PhD. But when you get it, it's very lucrative. And yeah, sometimes even if you have family, it's even the best. They pay extra if you have family. Like Belgium, for instance, they're paying extra because I had a family. They're paying extra. So, and when it comes to education, especially when it comes to medical research, Belgium is one of the best places in Europe. That when it comes to health, medical education, yeah, you don't want to miss Belgium. So if you are looking into a PhD in Belgium, certainly yes, I would advise you to, because it's one. They're also very is they're also very happy. The citizens are very happy in Belgium. Yeah, like it's a very tiny country, but yeah, you'll be very happy. And the research is also very intense. Belgium research is very intense. But what I like about Belgium is they speak very good English. They speak very, very good English. They speak, sometimes you might think he's even coming from the UK. They speak very good English because Belgium has three languages. They're like trilingual. They speak Flemish or the Dutch, they speak French, and they speak German. So
It's because of the border.
because of
So yeah, when I was in, I traveled to Belgium a few times when I was in Netherlands. Yeah, they seem okay. And
they're
like you're
very okay.
saying, it's how they can switch the languages as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So I'll definitely advise. And one thing about Belgium is when it comes to masters, they are more interested in the East Africa. They're more interested in people from East Africa. Normally, people from Kenya, Rwanda. I don't know whether it's because they colonize those region, so they know the. I mean,
Colonial masters
yes,
tend to favor,
yes.
yeah.
So normally, because they have very interesting scholarships. They have the Mastermind scholarship. They have the ARES scholarship. They have the Vleros scholarship. But normally, the people I met in Belgium, they were coming from the Eastern Africa.
Mm.
Those who got those scholarships are from Eastern Africa. I didn't see a Ghanaian or Nigerian on those scholarships. So that's the unfortunate. But when it comes to PhD, that one is for all. So you can, yeah. And the KU Leuven, they have so many positions, PhD positions, but it's very competitive.
Mm.
Very, very competitive. So yeah, your CV also has to be competitive to get those funding.
Right. Thank you very much. So when it comes to scholarship, I think every scholarship is competitive in the sense that everybody that is applying has got a reason to apply, you
Yeah,
know. Um, everybody has done their due diligence. Well, I presume, and everybody is fighting for that pot of money to further their education. So every scholarship is competitive. Even the ones that you don't think. So there's certain PhDs that I don't post on my on my page because I'm reading the research and I'm like, I don't even understand this thing. Who is studying this thing? You understand?
yeah,
But there are people studying it. That's why it's there, and I don't post it. But then again, like I'm saying, it's you having to just prepare and think that you are worth it
yeah,
or you deserve it as much as whoever that you're going to give it to.
yeah,
Have that mindset and always put your best foot forward and you'll be sound.
yeah,
So now you work in the US.
yeah. I reckon the
How did
US.
you get to the US from Belgium?
Yeah, so it's but I want to chip in this. I know everybody wants to go to Europe, America, but when I was in Singapore, I realized that you see when it comes to masters, um no one mentions Thailand because no one knows but Thailand has a lot of scholarship opportunities. And I know the Ghanaians who were in Thailand, they are using Thailand as a passage to Australia because normally all the Ghanaians I know that completed masters, almost 99% went to Australia. Some got jobs, some were doing PhD, and I think the few came to Europe. So I'm not saying don't look at Europe, America, but if you get an offer in Thailand, you might think, but Thailand can take care of you. Like they give you full scholarship, they pay your tuition, everything, just steady. And I always say this: when you have a good research, you have a good research on your CV. These countries they don't care where you got those experience. They don't care because I know a guy who even went to Thailand. Can you imagine to do English? A Ghanaian. He did English BSc English in Ghana, KNUST, and he went to Thailand to do masters. As we
In
speak,
English, wow,
yes,
that's
in Thailand, Ghanaian. As we speak,
okay.
he went to Australia to do his PhD in English, Queensland University, and when he finished, they've employed him fully. He's now in Queensland. So to me, sometimes it's not if you are waiting, and the Europe, the Americans, and they are not coming. Think about those areas: Malaysia, Thailand. People, I know one guy now. He's a Ghanaian who is a top researcher in France, the France Academy of Sciences. He did his PhD in Thailand, and he's now a top scientist. I've seen him working with the ambassadors and all that in France. He's a Ghanaian. So sometimes for me, because I remember at some point I was applying for PhD in Thailand because I knew I was not looking at the PhD. I was looking at what the PhD will do to me when I'm done. So sometimes people don't know, but there are opportunities up there. Thailand, Malaysia, there are opportunities, and you can get a very good research that you will finish and you'll be coming to the US. You will finish, you'll be going to Australia. You finish, you'll be going to Germany or something. So just yeah, especially even those with the nursing background. Thailand has one of the best nursing programs, in masters, in PhD. So yeah, just by the way, anyway, just by the way.
But it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because with some of the conversations that I've had, Dr. Blessing, he mentioned a similar thing, not with Thailand, but with even remote countries, not remote country, remote areas or cities in Canada. He was saying that people will not consider those areas, but there are opportunities there that because it's not saturated,
Yeah.
your chances of getting into them is vast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Enoch said the same with the US as well,
Yeah.
where he was saying, don't just look at your Ohio or New Jersey or New York and
Yeah.
those overpopulated areas.
Yeah.
Go out,
Yes.
and there are opportunities in these areas that people are
Yeah.
not considering, or not a lot of people are considering. So your opportunities of getting in is very vast. And now you've said the same thing
Yeah.
with Thailand. So again, do your research, right? And don't move by the decision of the masses.
Yeah.
Maybe your opportunity or your luck
Yeah.
will not be from where everybody else is going. I know people that have gone to Russia to study,
Oh yeah, a
and
lot. That one's a lot. Ghanaians go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And for me, when I look at it, I'm like, Russia, even if it's for holiday, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
again, it's open doors for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you said, at the end of the day, it's not really where you got it.
Yeah.
It's have you been able to,
Yeah.
and what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and I mean, Thailand is very innovative.
Yeah.
Is in those Asian countries like Japan and those areas, they have, when it comes to technology, they are way ahead. When it comes to
Yeah.
research, they're way ahead of even the countries in Europe. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
And Australia, I know, are with undergrad as well, undergraduates. I know Australia has a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities for
Yeah.
undergrads as
Yeah.
well. So again, yeah, hopefully I'll be able to, as time goes on, I'll be able to have a guest who's been to
Australia.
Australia or Thailand or these areas to
Yeah.
speak mostly around it for people to consider it. Yeah. So yeah, how did you get to US and why the US? Well, and how is it now? That's three questions.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I did my PhD in radio pharmacy, and currently radio pharmacy is is like it's under the nuclear medicine umbrella, where it's for cancer research, cancer treatment, imaging and treatment. So that's what I did in my PhD. I did development of cancer drugs. Like I developed cancer drugs for treatment. So I was at the Belgium, the hospital, the UZ Leuven hospital. So that's where I was like attached to. And the area is very hot. So when I was about to defend, like 6 months to my defense, or because already I have experience when it comes to looking around. I started looking around, and but US came to mind because I think US also wanted to, the radio pharmacy in Europe has is well developed as compared to the US. So I think they also want to catch up. So now they are trying to have radio pharmacy units every hospital in the US. So I started applying, looking for like hospitals and universities. And like you mentioned earlier, I was not looking at the big, the New York, the California. I was just looking at the small states, the smaller states. So I'm in Iowa. I know most people don't even know Iowa. It's yeah, it's also a small state. That yeah. So 6 months into my defense, I started applying, and yeah, so I got this job 6 months even before my defense. I signed the contract, everything. And during the application, I tried different. So I got a job in Memphis, the US here. I got different positions in the US, but I was interested in Iowa because it's very the size is not small, but it's also a small, the population wise, the state is very small. Yeah, so that's how I landed. Like I contacted one professor. at the hospital, and he said they are looking for a radio pharmaceutical scientist to help them with their new radio pharmacy lab in the hospital. Yeah, so yeah, they were interested. We went through the interviews, and I got a job. But when I was doing my PhD, my boss in Belgium wanted me to do a postdoc for 4 years after my PhD. So he has already got, but because right before then, he's gotten 1 million euros funding for his radio pharmaceutical research. And he wanted me to be on the fund and take some 2 or 3 PhD students to supervise. So it was quite tough for me. So I spoke with the the university hospital here that I need to do 1 more year postdoc. And I said, why not? We will wait for you. So after my PhD, they waited for me for 1 year to do my postdoc in Belgium because I told my professor, honestly, I can do 1 year. I can do 4 years. It was tough for him, but we were able to come into that agreement, and I did my postdoc 1 year in K11, and I moved to the US just to help the hospital with the radiopharmaceutical lab. So currently, I work with university hospital here in the US, where my job is to develop the radiopharmaceutical drugs for cancer imaging, we image cancer and treatment. So that's what I do in the US. And yeah, so again, the area, if your area is interesting, I think, but what I'll say is, first of all, get a PhD. First, get it. Because the PhD, honestly speaking, when we completed masters, some of my colleagues gave up and they started working. And I said Finland, the country is not big, so the job prospect, you might not get the job you want, but some of them were happy with it. But I'm happy I took the decision not to stay and do those jobs, but just move ahead. I mean, improve myself and all that. And I'm happy that I pursued this PhD because it has really, during my PhD with my supervisor, we toured almost everywhere. You are in Europe, you are in Asia, you are in you are in Africa, you are doing conferences and all that, and all this through the PhD. So that's why I always say it might not be somebody's story, but for me, PhD is, if you have the chance, go for it. Because and don't think about the money first. I never, through my education, money was never my plan. I wasn't even looking at the money because I was interested in getting a hold of the certificate, the PhD certificate. That's all I was interested in. Though, fortunately for me, during my PhD, I was able to get some money and all that, but my interest was the certificate. So just concentrate on education first. Concentrate on education. Don't care about where you're doing the PhD, where you're going. Just get it first. Then you see the opportunities that it's gonna open to you.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, looking at your journey, it looks like you were you've been consistent
Yeah,
in what you really wanted to achieve,
yeah,
and it's clearly paid off. You
yeah,
know, you've done a lot of globetrotting, and then now I believe that certificate, like you're saying, but it's not just the certificate though. You've done the job.
yeah,
You've done the research. You are in the field where you wanted to be. You can't be in that field if you had not studied and proven yourself.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, all of that counts as well. And I like the fact that you said don't focus about on the money. And this is something that I keep telling a lot of people around me. I said, with for money, there is good. Oh. All of us want money. But at the end of the day, sometimes I believe we miss a lot
yeah,
because we're too focused on the money. If you're able to be valuable, if you're able to get the skill, if you're able to get that experience, nobody will take that away from you. And all of these will be able to make you the money that you were looking for at the end of the day.
yeah,
Now the research that you've been able to gain. um, you can use that to make more money
Oh yeah,
because it's research and it's a skill that nobody can take away from you.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, look at you being in Belgium, having to do a postdoc, and they were ready to wait for you. Why? Because you're skilled and valuable in
I didn't
that.
get it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. You're coming. You're not just coming. But if you had focused on the money and stayed in Finland, you might be a top cleaner. But don't mind me. But at the end of the day, the skill that you have now is still able to take you places anyway. And you can still apply for the cleaning job if you want to. Again, hey, don't mind me. But yeah, yeah. So if you're still with, I know people are still online because I can see those that are still with us, and we've gotten a few um comments as well. There's one thing that is consistent on this journey that we learn. Everybody's journey is different. Everyone has an inspiring journey that they share with us. Um, and there's always a reason, that people keep going. Find your reason, find your why, and stick with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And that this is coming from a personal journey as well.
Yeah,
The number of times I've wanted to give up on something, and what kept me, apart from prayers and motivation from other people, that responsibility is also on you, or at this in this point in time on me to
yeah,
remember my why,
yeah,
because I'll be the only one that understands it, why I started in the first place.
yeah,
And until you see that end, please continue, okay? And this is a consistent, repetitive experience that we hear a lot of from people that we've had the opportunity to interview or have this conversation with. So again, if you don't take anything out of this whole conversation, know your why and stick with it. Your time will come, and you will definitely look back at the journey and know that it was worth it. And with all these essay writings and stuff, I know we've not touched on it this we've not touched on it on this occasion, but I keep telling people that you see those essays and that when you start doing your research, when you start doing your program, those essays will come handy. It's part of the journey. So
yeah.
embrace it, and it will all make sense at the end of the day. So Isaac says the journey is inspiring from Ghana, Finland, Belgium, and finally US. You forgot Singapore and yeah, all the globetrotting that he didn't mention. Yeah, so thank you very much, Dr. Ahenkorah, for having this conversation with us. And I know you're into real estate. Please use the last few minutes that we have to talk about your real estate, and if anybody wants to be part of your real estate opportunities. It's in Ghana, I believe.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't have to, but I think it's a good one to share.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you just it's they said there's no small real estate. So it's just we just started. So it's more like partnership. So we are partners. All my colleagues are here in the US. So we came
okay.
together to start something. So we don't want to do the bank. So everything is
Mm,
from our pocket, so that
wow.
there's no pressure on us. So we are going on our own terms and our own time reading, whatever we are. Yeah.
Mm,
So we are slowly. So currently we have a project in Adesu. Adesu is I mean, if you're in Ghana, it's closer to in Sawem.
okay.
Adesu, the Samankesi Road. Yeah, yeah. So that's why we have projects. We are doing some townhouses there.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, the contractors are on site trying to put them together, and yeah, we don't want to rush at this moment. But if anybody is interested in
Mm,
those areas, yeah, obviously it's a virgin land. It's a virgin land. It's not. There's no galamsey. Not there's so
yeah.
everything is clean. So if you're interested in um uh, a nice house in Adesu. Yeah, you can.
I'm doing susun very soon. Hopefully the susun will reach. Don't mind me. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I guess also if people want to be investors as well, they might not be looking to buy the townhouses, but maybe investors in completion, or you're not considering that yet.
okay, now we are not taking new investors.
Okay.
Because here we've got into, yeah, we are not taking new investors for now. Maybe in the
Okay.
future, yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay, that's nice. Yeah. So thank you very much. Your
Yeah.
final words to our viewers, our listeners, somebody that might chance on this conversation. What would be your advice? Let's say, yeah, see yourself now talking to your then self. What you would have really wished somebody would have told you. If you can tell our listeners or our viewers, that would be great.
Yeah. So the first thing I'll mention is patience. Um, I guess our quest to looking for PhD, looking for masters, looking for undergrad, you need to be patient because I always use myself as an example that it took me 4 years to get a PhD, but I didn't rush in doing anything because I was really focused on the PhD because I knew what PhD will bring to the table when I'm done. So what I'll say is please be patient with your search, be patient with yourself, and but keep pressing, even though you are pressing, though you're patient, because the rejections, hey, it's coming. Some professors will not reply. Some professors will not. Some professor will reply and say, "Don't send me this email again." Some professors, professor, I quite remember one professor in Australia. He said your CV is horrible. Something he was just mentioned something to me like that. So but you need to be patient. And whenever you do applications and you see, thank you very much for applying, then don't even read further because immediately you see thank you, the rest is the rejection. The rejection is coming. They are telling you they've got
Fireworks.
somebody is more suited than you. You're only looking for the word congratulations. If you see thank you, forget it. Don't read it. Move on to yeah. And honestly speaking, when I look at I kept my email is still active. Sometimes I just glance through just to see how many PhD applications I applied, how many masters I applied. It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. From 2010, when I completed my BSc, all the way to 20, is quite a lot. I applied a lot. And doing those things, you get an experience. You get an experience because not that I'm bragging or something, but now when it comes to applying to jobs, I'm very good at it. If I want to move right now to a different country, I can easily do that because I know how to apply, how to look for, where to look at, where to look for. Yes. And the second thing is information. You need information. You need to feed yourself with more information because sometimes you can do all the right thing, everything good, but if you don't hit the right spot, it can take you 10 years, 20 years, and there will not be results. So you need information. Always get yourself information. Be abreast with more information every day, new information. Because sometimes in the US, they tell you this particular school is notorious for African students. This particular school is noted for this program. You have to know all those things. Because I think to me, I was just applying because of the information. If I had knew the Belgium nuclear research earlier, I think I would have gotten the PhD earlier because I didn't know about this institute till later. So be patient, get information, and work hard. Hard work. I sacrificed a lot. Honestly, I sacrificed a lot. I right from my bachelor's, master's, PhD, my postdoc, I have sacrificed a lot, and it paid off. So be ready to sacrifice. Be ready. If you have to sleep for 3 hours, sleep for 3 hours. If you have to sleep for 4 hours, sleep for 4 hours. Because Now, as I speak, I can sleep for 10 hours, 15 hours. Nobody will come and knock my door that, hey, come in. Nah, 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 I can sleep because now I've worked for it. Okay, I've worked for it. And my professor told me in this world, nothing is given. You have to earn it. Nothing is given. You have to earn it. So please just take these three things. Patient, get more information, and also work hard. And I think, yeah, you'll be good.
Wow, there's nothing more to add. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This journey does involve a lot of patience. It does involve a lot of it. It's a rejection for me. You see, just adding to that rejection is learn to also take you as a person. And I do mention this a lot when rejection comes in. You as an individual, nobody can reject you as an individual. It's your application. Like you're saying, somebody might have submitted an application that is top notch, but it doesn't mean the person is better than you. Sometimes your experiences are even better than them, that your work ethic, because I know people that have gotten a certain job and I know them and I'm thinking, how did this person get this job? It's just how what they submitted and how they were able to articulate themselves than the person or the other person I could have vouched for. It doesn't make them any better than you. It's just the application um was better than your application. So learn to take yourself as the person out of the rejection. If not, trust me, you would need prayers. Your pastor might have to do deliverance because it hurts. You understand? So please, you see when I laugh like that, it brings memories. So it brings memories as we sit here like that. Some of them will start the email so nicely, and you're like, so this is all you wanted to say. Hey, we have closed. But you go. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining us. And
Thank
in
you.
all, we are grateful and we thank God that we can see um we can make fun of these experiences, and it's just to let you know it can only get better. So please do keep pushing. If you need any support or help, please do reach out to myself or Dr. Ahenkorah. I'm sure he'll be willing to give you the advice, read through your application, or even if your research or your future ambition is connected to his. And I know that he's got people in his network as well. If he's not able to, that can help you. Don't do this or go through this journey alone. You need people with you and the right people. Like he said, the information, you need it. So please do reach out with specific questions. Don't just come and say, can you help me? What are we helping you to do? Please, let's respect ourselves and do the right thing. Come with specific questions so that we will know what sort of help to render. So without wasting much more time, Dr. Ahenkorah, I'm very
Yep.
grateful for your time. I know you're babysitting as well, so I'll leave you to go and do fatherly duties. Thank you so much, and God bless you. To our viewers and listeners, also
Okay.
thank you, those that have been with us from the beginning and still here. Thank you very much. And good luck to everybody in this next cycle of application. May your application be accepted. Amen. Thank
Amen.
you and
Thank
take
you.
care. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.